Anya, we've had news reports this week that claim that the job market is actually improving for the first time in a few years.
Yeah.
Have you seen this with health and safety?
It's starting to slowly pick up. Obviously, we're just coming out of the holiday season anyway, and August traditionally will always be a quiet month for recruitment. But so far, September has proven to be a bit more positive. I must admit that June and July were pretty quiet in terms of new jobs, which were probably reflected in the journals and so forth. But there's definitely some areas of improvement while it might be a little bit slow at first.
So what do you think makes a CV stand out?
Something that's clear and easy to read, something that's concise, preferably to 2 pages. Tailor-make your CV to each job that you're applying for. Do not hope that one size fits all. Identify the key areas that the job specification has outlined and making sure that they're very clear and on the front of your CV. Make sure that your education and your qualifications are clearly stated. And just making sure that you don't put in anything like photographs, fancy typing, or anything that will make it more difficult for the client to actually read your CV very quickly. The average employer takes between 8 to 30 seconds to read a CV, so it's very important that you make that first impression count.
So what are your top tips for a successful interview?
Being prepared is the key, I think, in my personal opinion. Obviously, researching the company, really dissect the job spec, identify what questions you think may come off the person specification, which is very easy to prepare for. Research the person you're meeting with, do some Google on their names, find out if they're involved in any journals recently, any articles, just really listening in the interview as well. The most common criticism our clients will make about interviews is that they do ramble and that they don't listen to questions properly. So just make sure that you're actually answering the question that you've been asked.
How important do you think softer skills are that aren't academic based?
Well, in the role of health and safety, I think they're paramount. No matter what message you're trying to communicate, if you do know it technically, it's about how you actually communicate that message to people who may not be health and safety trained. So things like communication skills, leadership, and also simple things like commercial skills as well is very, very important, especially in the current climate.
How do you think people should use the spare time they have when they're out of work to keep involved in actually looking for a job?
Well, I do think that if they can and they have got the financial backing to maybe do an extra course of some description, whether that be through a government-funded course or indeed a professional course, they could volunteer to offer health and safety advice to a local school or to some event that the local parish is holding, and obviously keeping up with their continued professional development and any kind of news articles. Don't scrimp and start undoing any kind of membership that you may have, and just keep reading all the papers and the journals to do with health and safety so that you're up to scratch with everything that's going on.
So why did Hayes decide to get involved with IOSH and run this outplacement workshop today?
Because I think it's really important that that the good health and safety people are the ones who are actually employed, and I think that people do find things like writing a CV and attending an interview quite daunting. We've found where people have been in companies for 20 years and they've been made redundant, and that they've never done an interview since they were 18 years old. So approaching the current marketplace has been very difficult for a number of candidates. So we saw as our place to actually try and help support these people back into work as best we can with the current market knowledge that we do have.
Thanks for your time, Anya.
No worries. Thank you.